But I'm very disappointed because Elon knew the inner workings of this bill better than almost anybody sitting here.
This was Donald Trump addressing his recent fallout with Musk. Elon Musk and Donald Trump were never best friends, but they weren't enemies either. Until now. Their latest clash? A $2 trillion bill, dubbed by Trump as big and beautiful, but labeled by Musk as a disgusting abomination. If you're curious to know what's in the bill and what led to this sudden escalation between the two, make sure to watch the video till the end. Donald Trump returned to the political stage with a bold legislative promise. One massive, game-changing bill that would reshape American life. Dubbed the Big Beautiful Bill, it spanned over 1,100 pages. A sweeping piece of legislation that touched almost every aspect of American policy. At first glance, it had something for everyone. A zero-income tax policy on tips and overtime pay, designed to win favor with service and hourly workers. A generous $2,500 per child tax credit, pitched as relief for working-class families. Increased caps on SALT deductions, a nod to upper-middle-class professionals. But alongside those giveaways came deeper cuts. Major rollbacks on Medicaid and Affordable Care Act subsidies, a 25% expansion in defense spending, renewed funding for border wall construction, a 10-year freeze on new state-level regulations on AI development. On the surface, it looked like a bold mix of tax relief and national security. But beneath it was a financial time bomb. Independent estimates showed the bill would add between $2.6 and $5.7 trillion to the national debt over the next decade. It was pitched as bold, transformative, and pro-worker. But to Elon Musk, it was simply dangerous. Within hours of the bill hitting the public domain, Elon Musk, the man who runs Tesla and SpaceX, took to his X platform and dropped a grenade. He called the bill a disaster, a debt slavery trap, and said it was an insult to every thinking American. What made Musk react so strongly? After all, tax cuts and deregulation were supposed to be music to a billionaire's ears, right? Not this time. To Musk, the bill was an assault not just on fiscal sanity, but on the very future he's trying to build. He didn't just tweet, he urged his followers to call their congressional representatives and stop the bill from passing. For someone with over 220 million followers, that wasn't just an opinion, it was a mobilization. To understand Elon's outrage, we need to look at the bill through his eyes, as an engineer, investor, and someone who constantly thinks 20 years ahead. First, the spending. Adding trillions to the national debt while cutting revenues doesn't make sense in Musk's world. He has long warned that reckless debt could crash the US economy and destabilize the dollar, something that would harm both innovation and investment. Second, the climate silence. Tesla, Solar City, and Starlink all rely on long-term incentives for clean energy. Trump's bill rolled back federal support for EV infrastructure, solar credits, and battery tech, areas where Musk has billions invested. Third, AI deregulation. Musk has been publicly vocal, even alarmist, about AI risks. The bill's 10-year moratorium on new AI regulation went completely against his repeated calls for stronger guardrails. To him, that was like watching a train speed toward a cliff, with no brakes allowed. And fourth, the healthcare cuts. While Musk may not be in the healthcare space, he knows that removing safety nets for millions doesn't foster a stable or productive workforce, especially in an AI-disrupted economy. But Trump wasn't having it. Within 24 hours, he publicly rebuked Musk, calling him ungrateful, short-sighted, and even hinted that SpaceX contracts could be re-evaluated. This was more than a policy disagreement. It was political theater and a power struggle. Trump, trying to consolidate support among working-class Americans, didn't want Elon telling him what was right for the country. Musk, on the other hand, didn't want populist policies wrecking the long-term foundations of the economy. Now the big question is, what does this mean for you? Here's where it hits home. If the bill passes, tipped workers might pay zero income tax on tips, a short-term win for servers, drivers, and gig workers. Families could get more back through child tax credits, but millions could lose health insurance coverage if Medicaid and ACA subsidies get slashed. And every American will shoulder the burden of exploding debt through inflation, rising interest rates, or future tax hikes. Meanwhile, the AI industry, deregulated and unshackled, could move faster, but without safety rails. And that's the future Musk fears the most, an economy sprinting toward disruption with no brakes. So now, we're left with a question. Is Trump building a stronger America for today, or laying the groundwork for tomorrow's crash? And is Musk warning us from a place of reason, or simply protecting his empire? In the end, this isn't just a billionaire feud, it's a wake-up call about who we trust, what we prioritize, and how we define progress. What do you think? I'd love to know your thoughts on this in the comments. And if you found this breakdown helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. I really appreciate your time, and we'll see you in the next video.